Hey everyone and welcome back. We are on the road again and today I am outside of Manukau Super City Mall because today we are starting something a little bit different than our normal scheduled programming. We are going to be doing the 24-hour eating challenge and we are going to be doing it at Long John Silver's. Now, Long John Silver's has a bit of a checkered history and reputation in particularly the US. Started in 1969, I think in Kentucky, that sort of area. It's kind of become synonymous with kind of average, below average seafood in the US. Now, I recently remembered, and I didn't make the connection because it's an abbreviation here. It's not Long John Silver's, it's LJS. And I recently made the connection when I was just looking through the wiki for Long John Silver's after watching someone make a video on them. They were in New Zealand and I was thinking, really? I have not seen them, but they are here. They are called LJS. So today we are going to be checking out, is Long John Silver's in New Zealand as good, better than what it's like in the States. So I'm definitely hoping that the seafood is fresher, it's tastier here in New Zealand. So let's buckle up, guys. Let's head inside, grab some food, and see how it tastes, shall we? Alrighty guys, we are back with our LJS. We've got the nice Coke Zero, ice cold. We got ourselves a little lunchtime meal to kick off our 24-hour challenge. It is absolutely roasting here in Auckland still. I'm just putting down my windows because it is stinking hot. There isn't a huge amount of areas to get some shade. I might actually just drive over a little bit here. Alrighty guys, so I've managed to find myself a little bit of shade just in the same car park. Apologies for the hair, it's a bit wild at the moment. I do have my appointment at the barber's tomorrow morning. We cannot wait for that. This is way too out of control, and I'm looking forward to having a nice air efficient haircut come tomorrow. So you're going to see a transformation over the next 24 hours. But until then, we've got ourselves some LJS to have for lunch. And guys, you know what time it is. It's time to get the tray out of the oven and have a look, shall we? All right, guys, it is time to take a look at my lunch from LJS, otherwise known as Long John Silver's. Apparently the Kiwis' favorite fish and chips. I don't know what the metric is for that and how they decide on the favorite for New Zealand. I'm not quite sure. It is LJS. There is a lot of very, very good fish and chips out there. So they'll leave that one up to debate. But today we went with a fish wrap. We have to have fish, although they did give me the option of chicken. They also had prawn as well. So there's three kind of key meats that you can go with. I guess you call them meats. But this one is fairly heavy. It feels like it's hot as well, which is great. I've given it a little bit of an unwrap. You can see what looks like some breaded fish hanging out the end as expected. Oh, there's cheese in there. Didn't expect that. We take a little bit of a look inside. You can see that there is what looks like a sort of one piece cut up into two. And then you've got cheese, lettuce, onion, and tomato. So a pretty standard setup for the wrap, although I kind of wish I didn't do that because it's falling all around now. Moving over to the chips. The chips look really well seasoned. They've got a peppery outer layer. They are hot as well. All the food is hot. And then, of course, they didn't have my favorite Pepsi Max, but we went with the Coke No Sugar instead. All right, guys, there is nothing left to do except to get stuck in to my first meal of this 24-hour challenge, and that is this wrap, fish wrap. I think it's a hoki fish. If you're not from New Zealand, it is a very commonly consumed fish that's quite common, I guess, to the waters of the South Pacific, but it is normally really, really tasty. All right, guys, going straight in with my hoki wrap. Okay, so first impressions are everything tastes pretty fresh, which is my main thing with this. I didn't want to have a bite into this and it being fishy or mealy. Sometimes you have frozen fish, it kind of turns into sort of mealy texture. It is clear that this is fresh fish, which is great. The breading, I'll just try the breading on its own here, with no fish inside. A slightly sweet batter. It's got that sort of panko breadcrumb texture to it. It doesn't have a huge amount of seasoning, no spices, nothing like that. All the other ingredients inside the wrap are nice and fresh. So the onions, the lettuce, everything's coming together pretty well. You can see the lettuce, which is not something I normally order if it's a sandwich or something like that. I find it takes up too much space or it doesn't add enough flavor. You can see there's quite a bit of moisture that's coming off that layer and the tomato, and it is softening the bread crumb up on the fish. So, but because the ingredients are fresh, it does have a good crunch to it still. The red onion in there, adding a nice layer of flavor. My wrap is dripping out at the other end, a mixture of tomato and I think mayo. So it's got like a sweet chili sauce, a little bit of mayo. Not overpowering, but it definitely is adding a good amount of flavor to what is a pretty basic set of ingredients. The wrap itself as well is nice and fresh and has no crunch, nothing like that. It's just soft all the way through. I wish I got some sauce with my chips. There is a really nice coating of both salt and pepper on these chips. Nice and crispy. It is a really good amount of seasoning. They've done really well. The chips are fresh. Chips are well cooked. They're not too crispy. They're not too soft. Really well cooked. They're kind of generic tasting, I've got to say. There is a lot of very similar tasting chips in New Zealand, or fries. They all sort of stand between McDonald's style, very skinny French fry and your freshly cut potato chip that you maybe get at a traditional fish and chip shop. So because of that, a lot of the potato element and the actual overall flavor of the chip is very, very similar. The only way these differ is that extra coating of pepper. All right, time to finish off my wrap. Last bite. So first impressions, guys, it's pretty good. It doesn't blow me away, but the key thing, as I mentioned, the fresh flavors, the fresh ingredients are crucial when it comes to a fish product. So the total for this meal came to $19.40. And look, it was probably one of the more expensive items on the menu, but it was just a wrap, and I think you're probably getting less fish than you would do with just a regular fish and chips. So I'm not entirely sure, does that justify for essentially just a wrap and some fresh ingredients? Now, having said that, it was tasty. It didn't blow me away. What actually took me by surprise was the amount of options in there. There were, obviously, as you saw, a few fresh salads that you could choose from. There were some sort of what looked like a prawn hot dog. There were mussels for sale, although I'm not sure I'll go for the mussels. We will see. Stay tuned to find out. Often in the photos that you see of the American chain, it's just really quite greasy and heavy looking. So far, everything looks like it's quite bright and fresh here in New Zealand, so we will find out. We're going to go to multiple locations. This one is of course in Manukau, but I will head over to another location for this evening's video. All right guys, that is my meal from LJ's Manukau. We are going to be heading off, do a little bit of exercise to burn off some of those calories. There's going to be a lot of that over the next 24 hours, and we will meet later for some more LJ's fun. See you then. Alrighty guys, we are back for dinner at LJS. We are in Botany this time. We were just battling the crowds of cars to get here. Auckland well and truly has returned to its traffic lifestyle, but not to worry, we are here. I did have to make it a little bit earlier than I like because the Long John Silver's in Botany shuts at 6 today, so it is currently about 5:25, so we're going to rush over there, grab some food. I might do something a little bit different today. I don't want to do fish and chips. We had the breaded chicken earlier, so might have a look at that prawn hot dog thing if they have it. I'm definitely not going to do the mussels. I can't bring myself to do mussels. They were sort of in a Ban Marie thing earlier, so I'm not really super keen on those, but let's head in anyway. Hopefully they're still open. Grab some food and see how it's going. So obviously a little bit more compact than the one we went to this morning. There's what looks like a pretty limited menu overall, but yeah, a little bit more pared back. The other location had that mussel Ban Marie thing. It had the prawn hot dog, so we'll go back there tomorrow for those limited menu items. But tonight I went with the New Zealander burger. It's called the New Zealander. I've got to try it. It sounds like it's a bit of a signature burger, so we're going to find out what's in it. I can't really tell from the menu what's inside it. It just says the New Zealander. and then has just a picture of the burger. So we'll see. Alrighty guys, we are back with the goods from LJS. Yeah, a lot quieter in there than expected, but it is, I guess, the end of the day for the mall, which, yeah, we've caught it just in time. They did look like they were packing down a little bit, but she was really nice, and she's made a burger for us to try today. So guys, there is nothing left to do except to get the tray out of the oven and have a look, shall we? So guys, we have got consistent branding across all the sites. They've got the LJS napkins, and of course they've got their branded LJS logo boxes, claiming that to be the Kiwis' favorite. Let's have a look at the burger. The burger's quite a big looking burger. It's a very soft, pillowy brioche bun on top. Underneath, oh, there's an egg. Ah, right. I didn't see that on the menu. There is an egg. It looks like it's got a tartar sauce or maybe a mayo. And then it's got a cut of hoki, which I think is exactly the same one we had earlier. And then it's just got those same vegetables underneath, again, with a layer of sauce. So it is the egg that is making this one, I guess, a New Zealand burger, similar to our Kiwi burger, but no beetroot in this one. Yeah, so no combo this time. I didn't bother because I just had a drink before I got here. And also I don't really want any more chips today. I'm already pretty chipped out. That bun is feeling very light, very nice. There's quite a lot of sauce going on. I'm already getting drippage. Cheers, everyone. Okay. Very, very saucy. As you can see, there's big layers of lettuce in there that are sliding everywhere, sliding in and out, down and round.
Oh yeah.
And it is making for a very slippery, saucy experience. So that bite, there's a layer of cheese on top of the egg as well. I got a bite of the yolk, I got a bite of the fish, and less of that mayo-y. It actually kind of tastes a little bit like salad cream. Don't know if it's like a mixture of the tartar sauce and the mayo that's creating that experience. But the fish, the egg, and the cheese with that soft bun, that last bite I had was really good. Again, all of the ingredients really nice and fresh. There's nothing different with the freshness of this product than the product we had this morning. Really consistent in terms of flavor. So it definitely tastes fresh and not frozen. Although it was the end of the day, she's definitely sort of pulled apart some lettuce. I would prefer it to have been like shredded or chopped like it was this morning, quite fine. And that way you get less of that sort of slip-slidey burger, especially when you've got egg and all that sauce. Alrighty, so that's me now finished my New Zealander burger from LJS. It was overall really good. The quality of the ingredients was actually top-notch. The fish was really nice. It was fresh. It was super tender. The egg with the cheese. Wow, that worked with the fish sandwich. It was so good. I would definitely come back for that sandwich. Didn't like the way the lettuce was chopped. It was a little bit slip-slidey with the tomato in there as well. There was a lot of sauce, and the sauce sort of cancelled each other out. I would have liked to have had maybe more of just a tartar sauce instead of a sort of mayo that blends into what tastes like salad cream. So look, this LJS experience has been really, really good today so far. So guys, nothing more on today. We will see you tomorrow when LJS opens around about 11 a.m. for our third and final meal. See you then. Welcome back, everyone. We are on the road again, and today I am feeling so fresh because I have just, as you can tell, come from the barbershop. I've got finally a haircut under my belt after a couple of weeks of waiting with appointments, very busy around this time of year. I had to make a cancellation at the end of last year, which of course pushed my hair to extremities that I don't particularly like, but we have a haircut now and we're feeling much more fresh, most importantly. Today we are at our third and final location for my 24 hours of eating Long John Silver's in New Zealand, LJS as is abbreviated to here. And we are today at the Papatoetoe location in South Auckland at Hunters Plaza. I've never been inside this shopping centre before, so we're going to be checking that out shortly. I'm hoping there is a extensive menu as we saw at our first location yesterday. I'm quite keen to try some of those more unusual menu items. The second location didn't have any of those available while we were there, so we're hoping that we have a little bit more choice this morning. So guys, look, there's nothing left to do except head in there, grab some food, come back here and see how it's tasting. Let's head inside. Alrighty guys, we have got the goods all the way from LJS in Papatoetoe. Definitely a clean, not particularly busy food court in there. Although LJ's was getting a bit of business, they definitely had a more extensive menu than our second location yesterday, but I didn't see that prawn hot dog thing that I did want to have a go at. But anyway, guys, we've got ourselves some menu items that are a little bit different to what we had over the last couple of days. So there is nothing left to do except to get the tray out of the oven and have a look, shall we? All right, guys, let's have a look at our final meal from LJS. We have got ourselves two menu items today. Firstly, we went with a half portion of the salt and pepper squid. And look, guys, I'm not going to lie, they're a bit disappointing looking, very greasy. You can see the pool of grease underneath there, and they are not in the slightest bit crispy at all. They're quite insipid, to be honest. So we're gonna hope that they taste a bit better than they look. Over here we went with a half salad. They, as seen in the footage, they had a bit of a salad bar, both at yesterday's first location and today. So it's a prawn cocktail we went with, and we went with the tempura hoki slices as well. They are all cold, so I wanted to try a few more unusual menu items today. Hopefully this is not going to make me sick. Let's find out how it tastes. Alrighty guys, the other thing I have as well is an ice cold Pepsi Max. I went into a store with a lot of incense burning, so I'm hoping it's not made my drink taste funny. Gonna take a little sip of that first before we go on any further. Cheers everyone. No, it's fine. It's fine. All right. So, We're going to try these first. The salt and pepper squid. I'm really not sure how this is going to go, guys. It is dripping with grease. Okay. Far better than I was expecting on that. It's soft. Sometimes you have squid and it's quite powerful tasting. This is nice. Yeah, not particularly crispy at all, but what I will say is that the batter on that, it's got quite a bit of flavor, and the squid is really, really well cooked, guys. Soft, not rubbery at all. Pretty good condition. Yeah, surprisingly okay on that. I mean, the texture is kind of throwing me off a little bit, and it is very greasy. I wish you'd put it a little bit like paper down. So I maybe would have liked a little bit of a longer cook and a little less greasy, but given that my expectations on that were very low, that's actually managed to surprise me pretty well. Okay, so let's move on to our double salad. This is the regular size. There's a lot of salad in here. Let's start with the prawns. We haven't had any prawns yet. This is our first prawn experience at LJS. Cheers, everyone. So there are those smaller type of prawns in a sort of sweet mayo, I want to say. I don't quite know what that is. I suppose traditionally a prawn cocktail has Thousand Island dressing. Doesn't really taste like it's got a huge amount of flavor in the dressing itself. Prawns are fine. Nothing to write home about. There is, though, celery inside this salad, which I didn't catch before I got it. I'm not a fan of celery. The ingredients used in this salad are fairly fresh. I don't think there's a freshness question. But that's my other piece from my other part of the salad. And I'm hitting quite a few of those celery notes, which, look, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. Alrighty. Last but not least, we've got ourselves a hoki tempura fillet. Now, there's quite a bit of fish in here, but I've got to say, it's not very crispy at all. It's cold. I'm finding it hard to pick up a piece. It's falling apart a little bit. So it's essentially a cold fried fillet. It's sort of pulling apart. It's very floppy.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit of fish inside. The batter's different to anything we've had so far. Quite a pancakey batter. It is a hoki in these tempura. So the same fish that we've had in all of our LJS meals. Yeah, I've got to say that the feeling of this salad, if you were to look at it, or before you eat it, you try to pick some of it up, feels floppy, feels soggy. It kind of goes against every single bone in your body of what makes a good fish and chips. The flavor ultimately stands up pretty well as a cold salad. Nothing feels particularly old, or that it's been some time since it's been made. It feels all relatively fresh. It is, though, a pretty good option if you're wanting to do something healthier. There is also a garden salad and another fourth salad. Can't remember exactly what it is, but at least there is some healthy options on the table with this. But yeah, for me, I probably wouldn't order either of these ones again. All right, guys, so that is it for my 24-hour experience at LJ's. We got to try quite a few items off their menu. We got to experience some of their kind of main signature items. We didn't do a regular fish and chips, but I don't feel like we missed out because we already had chips yesterday for lunch, and we experienced the battered fish in multiple formats. So I don't think having a fish and chips on its own would have really elevated my experience in any way. Having said that, let's talk a little bit about overall how I feel about L&J's. So, look, there were some stars of the show. There were no doubt some good items on that menu. First and foremost, I want to just say that in every meal I had, nothing tasted old, nothing tasted like it was not fresh. Everything tasted fresh, especially the fish, which was really surprising given that in the US, people often comment on it being like sort of frozen tasting. Everything tasted as if it was fresh, not frozen. Stars, though, for me, were definitely the New Zealander burger that we had last night. The bun was really good. The fish was really nice and fresh. And it worked really well with the egg layer with the cheese. I would have liked to have seen maybe some tartar sauce in there. The only downsides were that the lettuce was cut too thickly, which sort of meant that my burger was slip sliding all over the show. I really loved the wrap actually yesterday as well. It was simple, but again, because all the ingredients were fresh, it went on really well. And the chips were well seasoned as well. Today's meal, look, I've got to say, I wasn't really blown away by it at all. Again, the ingredients were fresh, but the salt and pepper squid, although it was nice flavor-wise, the batter was good flavor, the actual squid tasted like it was not frozen for a million years. The fact that it was really greasy, the fact that it was quite sort of floppy threw me a bit. Had it been in there for a little bit longer and just dried to a crisp. And then the salads, look, again, the taste was good. There was just textural elements of it I didn't really like. I didn't like the fact that the fish was cold. Although you'd want to serve cold fish, I get it, in a salad. But it was just something about the fact that it was battered and it was sort of floppy and cold. And then the prawn cocktail was just overall pretty lackluster in flavor, and I don't particularly like celery, but that's neither here nor there. I know a lot of people do love celery. So guys, look, just want to say LJS surprised me overall. I was expecting it to maybe be a bit mid, not particularly flavorful, and my biggest fear, which was it not being fresh. So certainly those fears were allayed. Overall, I'd give LJS a smash it. I would certainly smash it if it was in a food court with some limited options, and I'd probably choose it above other fast food options in a food court as well, the likes of Burger King, McDonald's. I probably would choose LJ's. Overall, a really good experience, and quite frankly, a above expectation experience. So that is going to do it for the 24-hour challenge with LJ's. Thank you to all of those who have watched all the way to the end. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate that you are on this journey with me. We're going to be continuing to do more and more videos as we head through the year, so please chuck in the comments what your suggestions are for those videos. And as always, we will see you in the next one. Take care.